Hey everyone, Jennifer Six here, coming at you live. Okay, so I haven't been live since we were in Hawaii, and now that I've got my feet on the ground and the jet lag out of my system, and this nice, beautiful, cooler temperature, and the Cowboys won, woo, go Cowboys! Everything's going great. So there's been a little something on my heart lately that I wanted to speak with you about, and y'all know that when it's rolling around in my mind, and it goes through my heart, it's got to come out my mouth eventually. So usually if I don't get to a situation where I put it out here on Facebook, or at least have a conversation with some people, then it'll just stay in there and roll around in my mind until I finally put it out there. So today we're talking about owning your role. And I am by no means an expert in any of this. I am only speaking through my own experiences and through others who have guided me along the way. And hopefully it reaches somebody and helps somebody through something in their life. So that's really kind of my whole purpose here. So today what I want to talk to you about is owning your role. And a lot of times in life we have a couple of different roles going on. There's always the guide and then the person who is on the journey. So that can be a teacher and a student, or it can be an actual guide and somebody who's learning something for the first time or going on an adventure like we did in Hawaii. And so each of us have roles, and those roles can kind of, they're symbiotic, but they're also, you can get into a dangerous trap of blame and also of taking responsibility for things that you're really not responsible for. So hopefully this enlightens you and gives you an idea of how to kind of let go of the stuff you really can't control and how to control and manifest your own destiny in certain areas. So I'm going to speak to the actual student right now, and we're all students in different areas of our life. But when you're a student on a journey, you control what you actually do with the tools and the guidance that you are given. And I think case in point, when you look at academics, you see people who achieve on all different levels, some with very little guidance and some with a ton of guidance, and all different levels of achievement. So everyone owns their own journey. Some find it easier, some find it harder, but there's a level of work that goes into it that can really catapult you to where you want to go. So when you are the student, you own that role and you take those tools that are given to you, and there is no half in, half out when you're really wanting to achieve something. It's all or nothing. And I think that's something that I've learned most recently is, for example, I of course am on a health program, and it's been just an amazing adventure for the last year. And it's been great for me, for my family, and for a ton of different people who have seen success. And one thing that I am realizing on this journey is there is no kind of in, kind of out, or I'm almost all the way in. What do they say? Almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So the almost really doesn't count in this, and the almost really doesn't count in a lot of things that you do. So you're either 100% doing it or you're not doing it at all. And I think that if you really look at the things that you want to accomplish in your life, you'll find that if you're struggling, you're not 100% doing it. And anytime I've looked in the mirror and really taken a hard look at what I'm doing, if I'm not achieving what I want to achieve, it's because I'm not 100% on board. And so one thing that you can do to make sure that you're on board 100% is let that guide you, let those tools help you, and utilize everything that you have at your fingertips. I know that when students are going to school and they utilize their peers, their community to help support them, they utilize their instructor as much as possible, they utilize the textbooks or the online content, or whatever tools they're given. When all of those things are put together and truly utilized, there's huge successes there. So, that's really kind of what you need to look at as a student and as that person who is being guided is you are 100% responsible for the action that you take with what you're presented with. So hopefully that helps with anybody who's on a journey, whether it's something you're learning on your own or whether you have somebody guiding you. I think it really speaks volumes that you have a community of support around you to help you towards that goal. I think it speaks volumes to make sure that you're taking advantage of every single tool that's available to you, and then just dive in and do it 100%. And if you need help doing that, reach out to me, because I have some steps that you can kind of go through and help make sure that you are utilizing as much as possible. So let's take that hat off. No longer the student, no longer being guided. Let's put the hat on where we are the guide. So as a guide, and I guess the best example I have right now is my Aloha adventure. We went on a hike, and I apologize if I'm rambling, y'all. I just start talking. We went on an excursion. I took my 7-year-old and my 13-year-old on an excursion in Kauai, and we started out with kayaking, and then we literally hiked through the jungle. I'm talking, we would not have been able to find our way had we been on our own. It wasn't a paved pathway. We were walking on tree trunks and going over rocks and going through streams, and it was really, really pretty cool. But had we not had that guide with us, we would not have known where we were going. So we did that, and then we got up to the top and we hopped on a wagon that was pulled by a tractor. And then after that, they dropped us off at some picnic tables. We ate, and then they geared us up with our gear for ziplining. And then we hiked up together. We walked across a bridge one at a time that was very, very, very wobbly. And it was only like 2x4s, 2 long 2x4s going all the way across, very, very high up. And then, of course, we ziplined. So as our guide, they showed us the way because they've walked that way before. And they gave us the tools we needed to be safe. We had the hard hat, we had the straps, and then they talked to us and shared their experiences, both that they have had and the people who have done this before us have had, and imparted that information on us. And then they said, okay, go, take that step, run down that ramp, whatever you need to do. Well, guess whose responsibility it was to actually run down the ramp or take that leap off of that ledge? That would be the student, the person being guided, the guidee. The guide, the teacher, can show you how, can tell you how, can lead you. Like they say, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. But you're the one that has to take that step as the student. So what that means for you as a coach, as a teacher, as somebody who's guiding others, whether it be in a business that you're a leader, or an educator, or just a simple guide, on a jungle hike, you don't really have to take responsibility for the actions of those that you are guiding in every situation. I tend to wear my heart on my sleeve, and when people are struggling, I'm struggling right alongside them. And I think a lot of us do that, and we feel it, and we feel like we're struggling too. And I think that it's important to know that there's only so much that you physically can do. That when you've provided the guidance, and when you've provided the tools, and when you've shown them how to do something, that they have to take that responsibility to own it and do it. And you're able to kind of let go of the responsibility of their actions. And I hope that makes sense. Sounds kind of cold coming out, but it really isn't. It really isn't. When you're teaching somebody something new, that teaching and that coaching, most of the effort is in the first 85% of it, where you are showing them the ropes. And from there, you're just their cheerleader. You're just there to show them how to get through the hurdles as they come along, because you've been through them, or you've known somebody who's been through them. So as somebody who's on a new journey, take advantage of everything that's available to you. Really dive in and go 100%. If you messed up just a little, then you're completely off track. And you have to learn from that, and you have to jump right back on, right? Because all success is a bunch of little failures added up. So if you are that guide and you are that teacher, really pour your heart into utilizing every aspect of what you have available to your students or to your clients or to those that you are guiding. Make sure that they are armed and dangerous and ready for success, and take them on that pathway with you to success, but let them own their own journey. Don't take responsibility for their journey when it's their journey to own. They're the ones who are making the steps, making the strides, and either falling behind or forging forward and learning through every one of those. And you can be right there, arm in arm with them every step of the way, but just learn not to burden your heart too much with what you can't control. So my point in this is I really want everybody to be armed for success in learning new things and in helping to guide others through new things. And in doing that, owning your own role and knowing what you are responsible for, what you can control, can truly help your experience. And it can actually free your heart so that you're completely available for everybody who needs you. So I hope this made sense, and if it did, great. And I would love to hear your feedback. You can tell me if you watched it live or if you caught the replay. And I hope you're having a blessed Monday. Mwah. Bye, y'all.